So good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's conference with Le Cercle des Langues. Today we are going to be discussing virtual hangouts, talking online with friends, common phrases and idioms for digital social interactions. Please note that this evening's conference is for level B1 to B2. For the next 25 minutes, I will present the conference. And in the last 5 minutes, we will have a question and answer. So if you have any questions, please either put them into the chat or put them on a piece of paper and we can discuss them at the end of the presentation. In this evening's conference, we will look at 4 parts. The first will be starting online conversations. So how do we begin these conversations? What kind of vocabulary do we use? In the second section, we will look at expressing feelings and reactions online. In the third part, we will look at planning and sharing experiences online. And for the fourth part, online etiquette and staying connected. So let's begin. Starting online conversations. In the digital era, hanging out online is part of our daily life. We laugh, we share and support each other through our screens. Whether it's a video call, a group chat, or gaming together, our words create real emotions and bonds. Let's discover the language that keeps these online friendships alive and meaningful. So the first thing we focus on are warm greetings. So when you begin your conversation, it is always good to start with a warm greeting. And such common expressions in English would be, for example, hey, good to see you online. What's up? Or how's everything? Hi or yo, you made it? Hey guys, glad everyone's here. So remember that these are informal conversations, and that is why you will see more of an informal use of grammar and vocabulary. We often refer to these casual moments when we need icebreakers. And icebreakers are expressions or phrases that can help us begin these conversations. For example, so how's your internet behaving today? Any cool updates since we last talked? You look different. New filter or a new haircut? Did you survive Monday? So as you can see, these are the expressions that we use to communicate online, and they are more with humor and curiosity. So that means they're not too formal, they have a bit of a laugh, and they help us begin meaningful conversations. How do we keep our conversation flowing? So the key tip is to avoid long silences. Keep your chat lively. For example, how do you respond when someone is speaking to you? No way, really? That's hilarious. I totally get what you mean. You've got to tell me more about that. Same here. That happens to me too. So let's look at an example dialogue of a friendly catch-up between friends. Lena says, hey Tom, haven't seen you in forever. How's life treating you? I know, right? Been buried in work, but I survived. Haha, classic you. Any fun projects lately? Yeah, finally got that promotion I was chasing. Congrats. You totally deserve it. We should celebrate on a video call soon. Deal. Let's plan a meetup online this weekend. So already in this conversation, you can see that we are not using the full sentences with subject pronouns. For example, haven't seen you in forever. Instead of saying, I haven't seen you in a while. Been buried in work. Instead of saying, I have been buried in work. Any fun projects lately? Have you had any fun projects? So you can see the sentences are short, they are punchy, and they are informal. So how do we move on to expressing our feelings and our reactions online? There are different ways to show emotions digitally. Online chats rely on tone, punctuation, and emojis. For example, I'm so pumped for Friday night, and you have the emoji with sunglasses. Pumped is another way that we explain that we are excited for something. That cracked me up, and you have a laughing face. So that means that made me laugh. And then with 3 letters, we put together the sound that one thing would make. For example, my Wi-Fi hates me today. So it's this feeling of despair that is communicated through these 3 letters. I can't stop laughing right now with an exclamation mark, which makes it seem out there and very extreme. When we are reacting to good news, we often express enthusiasm to keep the mood positive. For example, that's amazing. You nailed it. No way. That's awesome. So proud of you. That's huge. You're killing it lately. So why do we use such big words? Amazing, awesome, huge, killing it. Why are we using these expressions? Because if we were in person, we would say, that's great. And the person would read on our faces and in our voices that we are acknowledging that it's a great reaction to celebrate someone else. But when you are online, you do not have your voice and you do not have your facial expressions. So we use big words. So key tips would be to use positive language to keep the mood light. Okay? Show emotions clearly. For example, the tone and the emojis help. You can also use punctuation marks. Be careful with jokes or sarcasm because they can be misunderstood. Something that we also need to think about is showing support and empathy. So digital empathy keeps friendships strong. So what are some of these expressions that we can use when talking about or using empathy on a digital platform? We could say, hang in there. I've got your back. That sucks. I'm here if you need to vent. Don't stress. You will bounce back soon. We have all been there. It will pass. These are just ways to show someone that you are present and you are there if they need you. So when we talk about emotional connection online, let's look at a dialogue that can help us understand this better. Sophie says, bad day. Everything went wrong at work. Emma says, oh no, that sounds rough. Want to talk about it? Just feeling overwhelmed. Deadlines everywhere. Emma says, been there. Take a break, grab a tea, breathe. Thanks, Em. You always know what to say. Anytime. You've got this. Remember, tough days don't last forever. So she's giving her a little bit of motivation and she is showing empathy in her dialogue. So when we express sarcasm and humor, we need to remember that tone is very tricky online. So add clues or emojis when you are joking. For example, oh yeah, best idea ever. But you can see that the emoji alters the sentence. It makes it seem like, oh, he's actually trying to say that's the worst idea. Because that totally worked the last time. Again, his emoji is being sarcastic. He's showing that this didn't work the last time, but we are doing it again. And I'm fine, totally fine, everything's fine. So because of that emoji, we can see that he's saying he's fine, but he could be in a bit of a panic, or his state is not exactly related to the text. Let's look at planning and sharing experiences online. Making plans virtually. Online events can be as fun as real ones. So how do we plan it? What expressions can we use? Let's hop on a call later, meaning let's make a call later. Movie night on Discord. Discord is an application that is similar to Skype. Let's set up a virtual brunch. We could do a game night this weekend. So how do we set up these dates or these moments with our online friends? We use clear, friendly language when suggesting plans. We share photos and stories to stay connected. And the most important thing is to be flexible with time zones or schedules, as they may not always be the same. So then we have to look at inviting or accepting offers. You could ask, is anyone free to chat later? You in for a quick call tonight? And to respond, you could say, sounds good, I'll be there. Or I'm down, just send me the link. So let's look at an example dialogue. Anyone up for gaming tonight? I'm in. What are we playing? Let's go old school. Call of Duty, maybe. Works for me. Snacks ready. Jules, virtual popcorn and chaos incoming. Game on, team. As you can see in the conversation, there is a lot of familiar language. For example, when we say let's go old school, it means it's a game that was invented a while ago, and we are not going to look at something new, but we are going to dig into our archives to find a game that's old, but still a great game to play together. So when we cancel or reschedule plans, we need to remember that life does happen and politeness matters. So how do we discuss this, or how do we excuse ourselves from plans? We could say, hey, sorry to bail last minute. Can we reschedule? Let's rain check our call for tomorrow. Hope it's okay if we push it a bit later. Or no worries, we will catch up soon. So an important way to stay connected is when we share moments online. Sharing these moments keeps bonds alive. And some example sentences we could use are, check out this pic from last night. A throwback to our crazy road trip. This selfie is pure chaos. Tag yourself. I'm the sleepy one. So remember that this vocabulary is extremely familiar, and there are many words that one can research. For example, throwback. A throwback just means an old memory. For the final part, let's look at online etiquette and staying connected. Online words can sound harsher than intended. For example, could you please resend that? So that is polite. Resend that now. So that sounds rude. But if I was speaking to you, I could say, resend that now. And it wouldn't sound as rude. So we really need to be careful how we say things when we are writing online. When you get a chance, could you check this? No rush, just a reminder. And we have an emoji to soften this tone. Respectful tone builds positive online spaces. It's also important that we try to avoid misunderstandings. Clarity prevents drama and confusion. For example, if you know that you are making a joke, it could be good at the end to say, just kidding, or sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Let's clear the air, so let's discuss it. I think we got our wires crossed. So these are all different ways that we can say to someone, there is a misunderstanding. So let's look at an example dialogue. Hey, did I say something wrong? You didn't reply. Oh no, not at all. I was just swamped with work. Okay. I thought I had upset you. Only slightly. Text can sound cold sometimes. Glad you wanted to clear the air. Me too. Next time I will just call you directly. Deal. Nothing beats hearing your tone instead of guessing it. So things can be more complicated when you are in a group chat. And we need to remember balance and respect are vital. For example, let's not flood the chat. So we tend to use this if you are working maybe on a project or there's a lot of planning that is going into an event and we do not want everyone to put different ideas into the chat at the same time. Can someone summarize what I missed? Just in case you could not reply on time, there's maybe one person who could catch you up. Guys, this belongs in another group maybe. So, for example, companies are using more group chats now and Slack and different applications to communicate. And sometimes you create different groups. So this is just a way to say that actually should go in a different group. And then tag me if you need me. There are also little fun digital slang expressions that have been used and are still used and are growing. For example, BRB means be right back. TTYL, talk to you later. ICYMI, in case you missed it. FOMO, it's the fear of missing out. IRL, in real life. TBH, to be honest. SMH, shaking my head. And BTW, by the way. Remember that many people do not use this digital slang. It is the younger generations. However, for example, the one that's not here is LOL, laugh out loud, which many people do use. So how do we deal with silence or ghosting? Not everyone replies instantly, so you can message again in case they have forgotten to reply. Some fun examples could be, guess I've been ghosted, just so that the person knows, oh my goodness, you didn't reply. Hope everything's okay, I'm just checking in. No worries, talk when you can, and let's reconnect soon. So let's look at a dialogue of a real digital friendship. Can you believe we met on Reddit 3 years ago? Wild, right? We've been through so much together. Breakups, job changes, everything. You are like family at this point. Same here. It's crazy how real this feels, even miles apart. Goes to show, distance means nothing when the vibe's right. True friendship is forever, even with distance. So in conclusion, virtual hangouts remind us that connection is a state of mind, not geography. Words, emojis, and digital empathy bring warmth across our screens. Whether we laugh, vent, or simply listen, the right phrases bridge pixels and hearts. Online communication, when kind and real, becomes another form of human closeness. Timeless, borderless, beautifully connected. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining me for this conference this evening with Le Cercle des Langues. There was a lot of vocabulary that was used in this evening's conference. So please take a moment to download the PDF that is in the chat so that you can have a look at it. And if you need, double check the vocabulary that could work for you and maybe research a little bit of the newer vocabulary. So, Marie-Laure, je vais pas envoyer par email. En fait, c'est dans le chat. OK? Vous pouvez voir le chat and vous pouvez le télécharger so you can download it. So thank you again for everyone joining me. Do you have any questions or comments that you would like to make?